All right. Okay, I was told by Spirit come back on here. And because I saw something as I was there. Um, just in case the picture comes on. I saw something that was interesting that got me thinking. And I was like, maybe a lot of people are feeling like this. So, Conscious Juice was had a short up, and this guy was talking in the video about how he feels like went to sleep one morning, woke up, and everything was different. Everything has been different. Okay. So, yeah, I'm back on here, try to bring a little bit of solution to the craziness. So, all of you need to pay attention. We have left Kansas. And I told Spirit, what's the best way to describe this? Now, remember when I said, okay, what makes you think that this is 2025? What makes you think this is the year 2025? Who said? These beings that govern over us that say it's 2025? And we're believing it because that's what we're told. And this is why everything feels out of sorts. So, pay attention. Now, remember, we have this going on. This is third dimension, which is the lower dimension. And then we got this higher dimension we're supposed to be going into. But remember, don't get synced up into thinking, oh, we're only going up to fifth dimension. No, 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 no. Remember, that's a trick. Remember, they lie constantly. And they put certain strategic people in all the different communities to tell a story, to follow the program, sentients. Okay? Lower beings that don't have a consciousness, but they're bought and paid for. Okay? So here, this is where this was Piscean time. Okay? Now we're moving here into this space. Supposed to be Aquarian time. But then you got these other little spaces here. Okay? These other spaces right here. Higher dimension. Then you got the one that's way over here. 12th dimension. Okay? So right now, anybody feeling loopy, feeling out of it, you're in this space right here. Waiting to get over here. Okay? Or you might have already been in this space and you're in this space going over here. Or you might already be in this space and you're going over here. Okay? So that spacey feeling, you got to remember this. What is the truth? What is the truth of what you're feeling? What is the truth that's coming down directly into you that you're feeling? We're all looking different. We're all looking and feeling different. And what is the truth? Now, this is what got me. This guy's talking about how he can't put his finger on it. Everything just feels weird ever since the whole COVID thing. Okay? But I want you to go back a little bit further when we really had more of the change that was coming in, but it was trying to come in full force with that 9/11 thing. Okay? That's when they really wanted to flip the tide. But now I want you to go to 2012. That's where we made that shift. And then progressively from 2012 all the way up till now has been the rip down phase. And the way I want you to think about it is Pay attention where you were living. And then all of a sudden, all this stuff, hey, Loveland, all this stuff started closing. All these buildings and stuff started closing. Okay? And they closed because they didn't have the money to stay open, blah, blah, blah. Okay, they closed. Those are trackings. Those are trackings. Timeline trackers. Okay? Pay attention to what was being closed. What is the word of that being closed? Big lots. Big lots. Okay, Big Lots went through its whole thing. But now it's kind of trying to come back. We had other stores that started their closing. Different things going down. Now, pay attention. So this guy's talking about this, right? And I'm like, okay, yeah, it does feel out of sort. Things don't feel right. You're even seeing it and feeling it differently when you step outside. It don't even feel right. Okay, we got all these frequencies trying to hijack us. And then we got the newer, higher frequency that we're trying to calibrate to. Okay, and this is where we're getting that feeling of, I don't feel like myself. I feel like I can't get things done like I want to get it done. I can't, I feel motivated one minute and then the next minute I feel like, I just want to lay down and go to sleep. Or you lay down and go to sleep and then it's like, why am I trying to go to sleep? My mind is racing. It's going. I'm thinking of stuff. I'm thinking. And then all of a sudden you do go to sleep. Okay? So why we're all going through these processes and stages. Remember, we're all being tested. And when I say tested, I mean this. Certain frequencies are coming up, organic frequencies, not those inorganic ones. The organic frequencies are coming up, and it's trying to see where are you supposed to be? Where is your energy aligning you? Okay? And wherever your energy is aligning you is where you're going to be highly calibrated. And you're going to feel really out of sorts. You're going to feel, but then there's the gift of it that comes online that all of a sudden you start having all this insight. Like things come to you like that. I know for me, things are coming in like that. And I have to sit and wait and go, okay, wait, what am I feeling? What are my thoughts on it? Okay. Now, in this world, the made up world, we have players that are coming in that are trying to offset the artificial world by telling you what's really going on, but in a way so that you can comprehend what it is. Because when you have been under the construct and you're coming out of it, nothing makes sense. Everything is like, what the hell is going on? Why am I doing this? Why am I paying for this? Why am I allowing these beings to keep robbing me out of money? Why am I letting these beings tell me what I can and cannot do with my own body? Why am I letting these beings tell me what I can and cannot eat? Why am I letting these beings do all of these things? Why are they doing this? And it's all because they want to keep you in the system that they indoctrinated you in so many thousands of years ago. Now, this is where it gets weird. As you are moving through these levels, okay, all that high technology has been around us this whole time. All these beings that they're trying to stage on us have been around us this whole time. Because of different contracts agreements, they can only interact or do whatever at that time and space in those timelines. Now we're in a whole new set of timelines, but at the same time, we still have the old timelines pulling on us, trying to trick us into staying in that energy. Okay? Thank you. So with the conversion of moving out of the old comes the setup of being in newer energy of uncharted waters, because this is normally where we get this far when they wipe us and try to make us forget. And there's a lot of hierarchy interference with the process of that. So this is why one moment you feel like, okay, you got your leggings, like me, looking for a missing pair of leggings. And I'm like, where are they? Like for a whole 3 weeks or so, I never even thought about the leggings. And all of a sudden, when I'm looking for the leggings, I cannot find them anywhere. So me and my friend Marty, we were talking, and it was like, well, what timeline did you leave them on? And I'm like, oh man, I got to go back to a timeline. When was the last time I wore them? I can't find those leggings. So where did I go? How many of you are feeling like when you go to sleep, you go in dream world and it feels so surreal, but then as soon as you wake up, you're trying to remember what the hell went on in that dream. You have scattered pieces until you're going along in artificial world, and then there's a trigger word that makes you remember it. And then you go, oh, that's what I dreamt about. We're all having those moments. Okay, we're all feeling like that. We're getting that. That's what that was. Okay, this is why you got to look at everything. Who's playing the roles? We have the wisdom keepers that are coming and they're telling us things. Okay, and the wisdom keepers, the ones that are speaking truth, they're the ones always getting knocked off. They're the ones always being shut down. They're the ones always being attacked because they're telling the truth. Then you got the artificial wisdom keepers. They are always accelerating. They always got everybody and their mama following them. Click, 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 click. And they're the ones that are not telling the truth. They're the ones that paint everything to look so good to keep you following that timeline with them. Remember, these are keys. Turn it, move you in it. Okay? Pay attention. So, now let's go back. 2012. That was a turning point. That was that doorway. Okay? We saw a lot of shifting take place around that 2012. Okay? Now, we go forward. We start seeing a lot of weird things. Solar eclipse that don't make no sense. Okay? Let's bring that up. Now here we are at 2025. Now remember, I said they stole a total of 6,000 years from us, but we can bring it down to 5,500 years of reset, reset, reset. They have reset so many times, it has taken us out of the actual natural time year of where we are. Now, what if I've told you before, you add 5,500 onto this 2025, add that time onto it. What do you get? So even if you were to add on like a 3,000 something years difference, you're going to get years like 5784. You're going to get, like, when we move into 2026, you're going to get 5785. Add another 2,000 years difference on that. Now, they've been doing this for 6,000 years plus, whatever. But add that on to that. And so really, that brings us into a more conducive timeline of 725 or something. Right in there. Right in that 5,725 window. Where all of this technology is all around us, exists, but we just didn't have access to it. But only certain other people had access to it. And this brings me to my point of what I saw today. This is why I'm doing my thing on my laptop. Because I was watching, as I was making my notes. Hold on. Where is it? Okay. Hold on. And this is what got me thinking. So this guy, Will Tennyson, he's a fitness person. And he goes around and does this. Hold on. These things where he goes to these places, these wealthy places for a fitness workout. He went to this place called Love Life. Okay, Love Life Fitness Place, where it costs $50,000 to have a membership there. Now, $50,000 for most people is what you would make, if that or under, in a year from our mediocre jobs that don't appreciate us, that make billions on top of billions and only can afford to pay you very little money to live on. But that whole game is about keeping you locked into the system where you are just making it. How it all ties in, pulls on you. Now, this thing, when he goes in there, and I paid attention to it, I didn't care about what he was doing, workout, whatever. I didn't care about. I was paying attention to the technology. And all the technology he had in there were these doctors, nutritionists, all these people, wellness people, all of them, work together in this one building for those who can afford it, and they cater to their perfect need of health. Why am I bringing this up? Because in this, watching it, looking at their technology, I was like, look at that. I wonder how long they had that technology. Oh, you can just lay on this bed cradling like thing, like a chair thing, lounge, and it's going to read you and it's going to vibrate, send frequencies all through you that's going to recalibrate you. Interesting. Oh, you can put this oxygen thing on and it's going to help them see how your body burns calories efficiently and not. How much protein, calories, all of this. I'm looking at the technology. I said, now where did they get that idea from? I mean, everything that you can think of, they have in this place called Love Life. Not a couple doors down from Whole Foods, wherever this is located in. So I asked Spirit about this, and I said, why has that been done? Why can't everybody have an opportunity to go into all those places and have that opportunity? Why is it only just a few can have that? It's how they set up the system. And if you look at the system, it's just like this. It's pods of what you can have and what you can't have. But this is why it's so important right now for all of us to really understand your frequency of your energy, how it's about to change. It ain't going to be so much about money. It's going to be about your frequency. And that's why a lot of us are feeling off right now, because you're not used to a higher frequency that's coming in and is calibrating with you. You understand how the artificial one works. You understand how the suppression works. It keeps you down. You understand how that works. keeps you in doubt. You understand how it works. It keeps you in fear. You understand how that works. You're used to that. That's what you're indoctrinated in. But this other frequency, it has a higher feel to it, and it talks to you in such a way that it makes you feel like you're losing yourself. You are losing yourself. You're losing your old self, and you're stepping up into a higher you. There's this union going on with your higher self. There's this union going on with your new gifts. There's this union going on with the new you. And the new you is telling you, hey, you can't think like that no more. This is a new way of being. This is where you are. So now the higher you is fighting for you to come up here. That higher you is fighting for you. And the only reason that the higher you will lose is if you decide to say no. It's too much, or I'm scared, I can't, I'd rather stay in my drug-induced self because that's easier. Okay, so the vibration of everything that's happening right now is to get you, purge you out of the old system. And this is why it feels so weird, because normally we get an interruption where we don't feel this. We get slapped back into time. They steal some more time from us. And then here we are going back through again. And we're just like, oh, hi. Oh, gosh, why does this feel so familiar? Oh, yeah, I feel like I've done this before. Blah, blah, blah. That's why. So this is why you need to look at where you are in yourself energetically and where you're moving into the energy of the self. Okay, so some trick of the trades to kind of break up this energy so you're not feeling so out of it and questioning yourself, saying, I just feel like I can't get myself going. I just feel like I can't get back into tune with myself. You need to just take a breath and say, okay, I am now allowing myself to go into the higher timeline, a higher true organic timeline, and calibrate there. And whatever gifts and whatever light codes that I have coming online, I ask you now to be activated and to calibrate so that I can move even smoother into this timeline. There's a lot of self-talk here that goes on. There's a lot of speaking it out that's going to create this transformation for you. But it can't really happen if you're not paying attention and you're just going along with it and you're just saying to yourself, okay, well, I'm just going to keep going. Hold on a second. I'm just going to keep moving on into this energy of the self. And I'm going to stay there. So let's talk about some ways to stay grounded. Water is one way to stay grounded in the South. Working with your crystals, smoky quartz, Amazonite, beautiful stones to work with. This one is about truth, communication, and harmony. It's a watery-like element, works with the heart and the throat. Labradorite is your magical stone that helps, and is a great shield, helps with shielding. Okay, so your labby, your silver sheen obsidian, beautiful pieces to work with, helps with grounding, centering. Now, I already taught how to make that salt bowl, and I'm not going to go through it here, so you would have to go back and go look at today's new activation portal to get all that medicine, because we're in medicine time right now for the next 10 days. So lepidolite. Lepidolite is a great stone to work with when you just start feeling like, oh, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling like I got too much going on. And just sometimes just grabbing a nice stone and just sitting with it just helps to bring that down, and just saying, hey, can you help me for a second? Thank you so much. And just sitting with it. Fluoride. Having a nice piece of fluoride, purple fluoride. Good to get yourself in that redirecting, needing a little bit more of that energy to kind of like take the next step of what you got to do so you can stay focused. This is why it's so important to really start trusting yourself and moving into that direction, because when you start feeling overwhelmed, that comes into that place of feeling shut down. Okay, so even when you're working with Orgonite, I got this way back in the time of when I was in Sedona, few years back, right before all the craziness started. I think it was it might have been 2019 or 2020. So went into Sedona, and I just fell in love with this. I said, wow. And then I went back and I got one of my clients at the time got me the sphere. And the sphere has all of the selenite, the black tourmaline. And the store that we went into, I think it was Mountain Crystals or something like that. They had so many beautiful pieces. And I was like, God, that is so pretty. I really want that. And so one of my clients, I said, I really like that piece. She goes, well, you give me a reading, I'll go ahead and send you money. You can just get it while you're there. And I said, okay, no problem. Reading, crystal, done deal. So, and I just fell in love with this, and because it felt so good. Now, when you're working with things like this, those spheres, those are those 360 degrees all the way around. So you're just going to get that energy of expansion. You're going to get that full wave of energy that comes in. You're going to have to start really working with your temple in a different way to help with the calibration, to help with the nervous system when it's going through a lot. Taking nice and hot and cold showers helps to reset your nervous system. Okay, especially that coolness. After you get hot, then going into the cool resets you. Okay, when you've been out in all the craziness and you come home, this is where you need to really take care of yourself. Take the time out. Get out of those clothes. Put some other clothes on. Change the frequency. Your clothes are picking up the frequency that's outside when you're out there. And then you come back into your sanctuary. You're feeling like, why am I feeling so weird? Switch your clothes off. Switch out. Get some other ones on. Wear your Orgonite when you go out. This is game on, people. The more you walking out there thinking, oh, everything's good, yeah, no, you got to do things in layers now. Because we got all these weird EMF energies, these towers, all this stuff going on. Our cell phones. Now, so-called Bill Gates is talking about, oh, we're not going to have these cell phones anymore. We're not going to have these phones. We're going to have tattoos to be talking in. I said, look at his dumbass, clone-ass self. Wrinkled ink. Can't stand him. He's so stupid. His clone is even stupid. Anyway, when you know, you know. Wrinkled ink. Where'd I get that from? Oh, no. So his whole part of what he's been doing is just going in and messing up everything that's organic. Putting his artificial stuff, his artificial meat, his artificial blood, all that craziness he's been doing. And to me, on these timelines, this is where I sit back and I say, yeah, we're witnessing a lot of this. But at the same time, I'm sitting back, when is his yank out going to happen? Because it's got to happen. We've seen a lot of others get yanked out already. So his has got to happen. The reason why we're still seeing a lot of these people in places is because we got sentients that are running an old script, trying to keep you believing that this person is still active. Then we got clones of that same person running around that they got to take care of. So they might have 4 or 5 clones. Everybody you're looking at is not the real person. And that's part of the problem also, because their energy of what they've been doing. So you have to really pay attention to taking care of yourself and working with selenite, charging up. Look at that. Look how that shows up. Light. Nothing but a whole bunch of mineral compressed under hot steam water temperatures in the earth, compressed all these minerals to make it solid. But you go and leave this thing in water and it'll dissolve. It'll break down. But it's that powerful. You can just hold that and cleanse. Your oils, your bracelets. Look, get your bracelets on. Wear your armor. Stop going out thinking it's fashion week. Quit it. We're at war. It's called spiritual warfare. They're doing stupid stuff underneath the radar, messing with you. So, using your oils, using all of your different oils. I like these oils by Panorama. I love these. They got one for confidence, one for happy, one for calmness. Oil up. Put those oils on those points and oil up. Your points you should be working with are right here, right here, right there, right here, right in here. Okay? Those are those points. And if you're getting hit in the solar plexus, put your oils on your solar plexus. Okay? Coat that belly so you have that shielding there. Okay? When we talk about shielding our energies from the negative stuff, we're not talking about we're trying to protect ourselves from everything, because then when we say those words protection, the body thinks, oh, okay, let me put some more weight on. No, we're just shielding out the negative energy so that it doesn't keep entering your space and causing you to have headaches, causing you to have the blurred vision. Now, there's all these weird stuff and particles in the air that's interfering with your eyes, causing you to have blurry eyes and irritation and all of that. So this is where you got to take that extra care and really helping yourself to stay healthy in these times. And when you go to doctors, if you're getting info, getting things that you need to get, like I got blood work done. I haven't had blood work done in years. Okay, I'm pretty sure maybe 12 years, 12, 15 years. And I was a little hesitant to get any blood work done because I don't want to be tracked. Okay, because remember, they're out looking for people who haven't had the tap, and they want to be able to get blood that ain't all messed up and all that stuff. So they got already sites and places of people who want to donate their blood and get paid for it for these beings who want that blood. Don't get me started. Anyway, so if you have to do blood, make sure you do a blood work thing where you do it in a waning part of the moon, because it'll be easier for it to come out versus if you go and get the blood work done during a full moon. Okay, during the waxing period, your blood is thicker. Okay, so yeah, so I got that blood work done, and some of the doctors cracked me up because she's like, oh, I want you to go in and get your breast care done. I'm like, ain't nothing going on with them boobs. My boobs are just fine. Well, you need to go because no. I'm not in that category. And with all this radiation going on right now, if there was anything going on, I'm sure it's been dealt with. Just like, I don't need nobody coming up pressing my boobs and radiating it more. No, thank you. No. So she's like, I said, just get used to that. When I say I need you and I need your expertise, I'll come and see you. But at the same time, I'm checking to see what you're all about. And if I don't feel right about you, I'm not stepping with you. That's how this is going. Okay? So your oils, your crystals, there was somebody on here when all this stuff started going, telling people that they shouldn't even be using their crystals and all of this. And I'm like, you know what? Shut up. Already you done lost points. I'm like, shut up. You already lost point. Use your crystals. The crystals are online now. Okay, your crystals are here to help you. Your oils are here to help you. Those are the plants. Those are the flowers. Some of you probably just need a little bit of oils like geranium to kind of balance you out, especially if you're a woman. Look, it even says on there, balancing. Geranium's all about balancing you out. All of these essential oils, aromatherapy massage. Ugh. If you can go into a spa and if they offer anything like an essential oil massage, get one because that helps to reset you. I did a lot of this when I was working in the spa era at the time. I love doing those because it was straight down the spine, oil up the spine, and then boom, oil up the body, and that person's good to go. You know, you're good for like 2-3 weeks because you just had such a good oiling. Sometimes people just need oiling down the spine to strengthen them up. But as we're moving through these timelines, you just got to figure out where are you holding at? Where's your holding point? Where's your holding space? Because you're making that shift and you're going up higher, and this is why everything feels spacey. This is why you're getting the headaches, because the frequencies are coming in. So you can alleviate that if you wear things that work in your favor, okay, that gives you divine grace. All right. So Spirit just told me to hop back on and talk to everyone and get some good smoky quartz. Get some good things going on, you know, with your crystals. Get those things going on for yourself. So that your body can literally start creating a sacred space of emergence into the newer energy. Okay, so Sage Goddess finally explained why a lot of her deliveries, mailing out orders, has taken so long. She said it the other day, and she said, yeah, I've been getting that a lot on my Facebook, and I've been explaining we didn't have our racks up so I can put the stuff out so you can go and get the items to mail out. Everything is still in boxes because she's transitioning and it's taking her some time to get that stuff out. So anybody that has orders and stuff from there, she was really still telling people, please, you know, be patient. We just got our racks up, and a functioning rack is needed in order to fill out the orders. If we don't have it up and running, we can't. It takes time to go through these boxes and look for this merchant. I could just imagine what her stuff looks like. I could just imagine. None of us, if you never ran a crystal shop or if you've never been in a warehouse with crystals, you have to remember one thing about her. She bought the whole crystal system. She owns that. Where people would go and order different crystals and stuff, she bought the brand of that. She bought that whole thing. So this is why there's so much of it that she's moving from her inventory. That's a lot of inventory. And yeah, there's bound to be some slip ups. She's working skeleton crew. But you know what? It is a long time to be waiting on an order if you haven't gotten it in 2 months. That is a long time. So everyone has to do their due diligence, follow up on stuff when they get it. But she still does have that special going on. So if you're looking for stones and you need some good stones and you don't want to pay a high price, now's the time. Go over to her webpage and look for it if you need to. But make sure you keep all your information. Make sure you get some kind of confirmation that they got it and they are doing it. Once they take that money, they got to send you the product. And it can't be taken forever. They got to be honoring that. So stay on their butts until you get your product. So, or get your refund, however that is being handled. So that's just one place. You can also do Royal Gems. Stacy, she's out in Wisconsin right now, but she's getting ready to wrap up this one. But she's had a lot of crystals she's been promoting. Crystals are here now. They've been here, but now they're really needed. So get yourself some good pieces and start really working with yourself. Pendulums, your cards are all a part of communicating with yourself. Now, this is where I draw the line with Empress when she was talking about who are you really asking? Da, 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 da. When you're working with your cards and stuff, if you're going past the artificial construct and you're directly aligned with source, divine light, that's where you're getting your information from. Point blank, period. Okay? Now, if you're not taking the time to align yourself with that, then yeah, you're getting your stuff pretty much from anything that's standing around going, oh, yeah, I'm at mage. No, you got to make sure you're divinely aligned so you have a direct line with that. Now, let me show you something. And I thought this was thebomb.com. So let me see if I can pull it up. This was so beautiful. This was in Humboldt, California. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Okay, I want to show you about this tree. Because as soon as he showed this tree, how big it was. Hold on. Okay, here it is. This is amazing. And he's got it pin marked through this trunk of this tree. Okay, hold on.
The loggers have gotten a bad rap. Really bad.
Look how big this is.
You think about it.
Look at the trunk of that.
Came here. All of a sudden, we're dealing with trees like this. First off, how are you going to get it on the ground?
Look how big that trunk is.
Okay, the wizard comes along and magically you got it on the ground. Now how are you going to buck it into lengths that you can move? Okay, the wizard helps again. Now how are you going to move it? Well, you're as oxen. You're going to figure out how to move these things. Okay, you get them to move. Where are you going to move it to?
Right.
There have never been sawmills in the entire world, in all of history, to deal with something like this. Never. Those guys and gals had to solve every one of those problems to build this country.
Now,
Once they did
I want
solve
you to
it,
look at.
the United.
Hold on.
That's a signing of the Declaration.
Okay.
Guys and gals, step. There is. They built enough railroad in 20 years to span the continental United States 3 times. And they did it just out of hay hands, using their brains, and solving.
He has pins in here
and that's what we are as problem solvers.
where he's marked these rings that talks about every 10-year rings of what happened. And the reason why I'm showing you that is that the trees, they hold so much of our information. So when they burn down, when fires happen and things get burned down, those trees release those codes and they go up into the plasmic atmosphere, get in their energy, and then come back through and come through us. Okay, so then we're holding that tree information, or they're going to skip it over to other trees to help bring that in and hold those codes. So the reason why I was showing you that is because that trunk is huge. It's mind-blowing. Mind-blowing how big it is. So why do they mess with that energy? A lot of the trees are actually here to help with the calibration and the change right now. So with that being said, I hope I said something to kind of let you understand where you are on this map, how everything is connected, and how we're moving. And it's dimensionally happening. That's what's happening. And you have all these constructs coming out of that space and moving off of that. So pay attention to your dreams. This is why I tell you to keep a journal so that you can go back and look at timelines and say, okay, wait a minute. How many years was that? Where is that? So let's take a look at that. If there's actually a 3,970 years difference, add that on to now. And that'll tell you where we are. And how much technology is around us and why we're feeling so weird. Because they're amping up technology that we're not used to. And that's why we're feeling it. Okay? So with that being said, lovely, I just want all of you to just kind of get that into yourself and understand that. So that you kind of understand what's going on right now. And I know a lot of you are really sensitive and you're having a lot of sensitivity, but I really want you to just pay attention to how you're feeling, set your intentions for the day, get yourself some nice stones to get yourself grounded, get a nice grounding pad, from earthing.com, get a nice grounding pad. So if it's too hot outside and you don't feel like going out there in the heat, you got your grounding pad right here. Get some good organite to put in your home so you have it in your space. Because organite is like being next to the ocean. Putting those things in your space. Salt lamps. Things that brings up the vibration. So that, wear yourself some nice copper pieces. Copper is a direct line to Creator. Okay? Understand what your metals do, when you wear them or partake in them, however it's showing up. Understand that. But whatever you do, don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Always question everything. And if someone is trying to mess with your well-being, just say, I don't know what your intention is, and I don't want to be bothered with it anymore. Okay? So when I saw that guy talking, I said, a lot of people are feeling like that. You're feeling out of sorts. You're feeling like you're lost. Things don't feel the same. And it's not going to. From here on, we're moving even faster. Wait till we get to September, because that's really where that gate is going to turn. And there's only so much time, space for that gate line. And hopefully, when it does turn and when it comes for that conversion and moving, you'll make that decision and you'll go in there like that. And it'll be a big shift. You'll notice it. But right now, we're all in this calibrating stage. Okay, we're calibrating. All right. All right, lovelies, be good to yourself. I wasn't planning on coming on here, but Spirit just kind of said that. Oh, one stone I had left, the prophecy stone. Yeah, I talked about it briefly, but that prophecy stone is all about grounding spiritual light in the physical self and the world, seeing prophetic vision. The element is earth. The chakras it works with is the soul star, the crown, the third eye, and then the earth star. So this brings that direct grounding straight in. It's working with a meteorite piece. And it's really interesting. It's like, whoa, it's like that intense energy. So prophecy stone is good. If it calls to you, work with that. Otherwise, take a deep breath, get grounded, get in some good sound bath, and take care of yourself and just say, okay, I'm in it to win it. Okay? All right, lovely. Now I'm going to go take a break and rest and go do what I need to do. Be good to yourself. Those of you that are coming back for day 2 of the Galactic Wave, I will see you tomorrow. All right, have a good one.